Hello and welcome back to my Japan's Let's Play of Mars Horizon. In the past episode we completed the milestone Mars Flyby, and in this episode we'll be focusing on completing the next milestone, which is Orbital EVA. Let's continue the game where we left off. Okay, so yep, active missions. We are pretty close to 1 month to go till we can launch the Orbital EVA, and then we've got an Earth topology mission, or quest mission, ready to go in 6 months' time. Okay, and we have got a mission slot available. So research wise, we are still currently progressing towards getting the Apollo payload to complete the crewed moon landing, which also means we can potentially start looking at doing the Mars flyby. Okay, we've got no quest missions on Mars. The moon has lunar radiation, but that's going to give us science, which we do need to be able to maintain a good amount of income from science to progress with our research. For quest missions on the Earth, we're already doing the Earth topology. We can do the life support test or the control systems check. Again, very good science. It's just a case of we could do really with some money. Getting quite low. Okay, so the Venus impactor, we could start potentially looking at research next to get a lot of science there. And then again for the Mercury orbit, it's just additional science. So I'm tempted to start looking at the Mars orbit and start getting that milestone prepared and ready to go. Because again, the moon one, we're quite ahead of time on that one, so we don't need to jump straight away on that one. And like I say, we're planning for the Orbital EVA, which is due next month, so let's start planning towards doing the Mars orbit. Get that planned and the payload ready to go. So this one's actually 3 stages. So we've got enter Mars transfer orbit, we've got execute trajectory correction, and achieve Mars orbit. So seems to be probably a lot of navigation going on there, but again, we'll see. So we've got a standard, observation, navigation, and a power. I think for money wise, we're going to have to, we can't go for the power because it's 844,000, so it's quite expensive. And I am tempted to go for maybe navigation one, but we will lose. I think we'll lose some reliability in the payload. It is the same price at 563. But I think we can probably pick that up with payload training. So with that in mind, we'll get this one built and start going. So that'll be ready in 4 months' time. And I think we may as well progress to the next month. I think that's all we can do. So Mars is dead. A popular magazine has declared that Mars is dead after your recent Mars flyby mission dashed any far-fetched hopes that the planet had artificial canyons. The article questions the worth in going back to such a barren world. Your scientists have urged committing the agency to a Mars orbit mission to prove how much there is yet to discover. Actually, well, we're going to commit to it because we've just literally start planning the next mission, so we may as well. So Japan commits to Mars. Your agency is pledged to send a satellite to orbit Mars. We're only scratched the surface of the red planet so far, a spokesperson said. It has countless mysteries yet to uncover, and we plan to uncover them, and we plan on uncovering them. Any negative reactions to the magazine article seems to have been prevented, yet it remains to be seen if the public will have been won over by the mission. Okay. Okay, so we're already on the Orbital EVA. Okay, so we've got a good launch reliability at 90% and the payload is 69%, so let's continue. Not sure if we need to get another astronaut or not. Oh no, we've already done it because it's already been selected. We've just got to launch it now. I think this one's got 3 astronauts if I remember correctly. Okay, so we're in April of 1966. Okay, so what we're looking at. So we've got excellent conditions. So okay, so we're down to 1% and doesn't look like there's any negatives. So we just got to go with it. So 99% launch reliability. Let's go. Please don't explode. Okay, that looks good. So far this rocket's been pretty reliable. Okay, how good was it? Okay, 59, that'll do. Nice secure launch. And the Delta K is getting some good levels up. Okay, so Orbital EVA, April 1966. Okay, so we've already gained additional 1 comms. I think that's probably because of the payload. We've got a comms payload for this one. Okay, so we need 5 comms and 10 navigation to complete the objective, and 10 comms and 20 navigation for the bonus. And we have data and power and 2 crew for the secondary resources. So I think we should progress and use a power to get some, and a crew to get some navigation, comms and data. And then we can turn that data into, it's tempted to get that data into getting some comms. Just don't see the benefit of getting extra comms so quickly when, but then get a load of data there and then turn some additional comms into 6. But we do need a lot of navigation, so I don't want to waste any navigation just yet. Okay, but we may as well use the spare comms there. Okay, so we've got 8 and 2. The comms we should be able to get up relatively quickly with even just power itself. So let's just confirm that and move on. Okay, so that one's good. That wasn't very good either. So what do we need to do to resist this? So if we resist it, we'll only use 1. Yeah, we don't want to waste any comms, so let's just use the extra power. And that one's good. Okay, so we've got 3 more turns to go. Still need to get that comms up a lot. Yep, so I think we should get the crew being used again. And use that twice maybe. Okay, so that will then achieve the mission. Then we'll be 6 short and 5 short for the last 2. Yep, okay, let's confirm that. Okay, that's good. Good. And another acceptable one. Right, so could use both of the crew to do 4 comms and then use the additional data there and do that. That'll give us the navigation, which will be short of 1 comms. Okay, let's push on. Okay, that's not good. So we've got an altitude control error. So if we resist it, no, I'm going to keep the power because we're only going to lose one comms. We can gain that comms back anyway. So we could do keeping the power just to any additional fails come, which they haven't, so it's not a problem. So we can move on. Okay, so we've now achieved the navigation. We've just got to get the last 2 comms, which we could just do the crew and then recharge twice, and then mission complete. So recharge the power, and that one's acceptable, so that's good. Okay, so we achieved that one. So the next task will be to conduct mission EVAs. So we've got a new resource. Okay, so we've got a drift and crew. So what's this going to be? Okay, so we've got drift. This mission task involves a complex payload maneuver. Success will require the precise control over the drift of the payload. Okay. To complete the task, you'll need to meet the task objective and keep drift within the displayed range. Okay then, so drift can be both an input and an output of commands. You'll need to carefully balance commands to keep drift within the required range. Seems straightforward. So we need to keep it between -2 and 2. At the minute we're bang on 0, so to achieve this we need 6 comms and 6 data, or 12 and 12 for the extra bonus. Okay. So drift wise, yeah, so we can get rid of a bit of drift if we do stuff, but right, so yeah, so we've got navigation now as the secondary resource instead of the data. If we do that, that'll increase by 1 drift. Then we could use power to gain that back. Okay, so this does so 3 comms will actually do quite a bit there. Just need to think about how to as efficiently as we possibly can. That one's probably better to get that. That gives us quite a lot of navigation. That's quite a lot of data there, but I don't really want to get 2 drift when I can't counteract it. But we could do 2 navigation there. So let's confirm that and continue. Okay, that's good. That's not so good. But if we resist it, we'll gain additional navigation. But no, we're going to accept it because we're not bothered about navigation. It's only a secondary resource. Okay, that was very good. Right, so very good. We've got the okay. So this is drift range. Falling outside the required drift range will not end the task early, but you'll need to be within the range for the task to be successfully completed, even if you've met all the other objectives. Okay, so that's interesting. So we do need to keep a good eye on the drift. Try and keep it as balanced as we possibly can. Right, so we need to get a lot of comms. So let's try and focus on the comms. So if we use the crew, I was tempted to go for that one actually. So that gives us 5. So yeah, if we do that, which will gain as a drift, we could then turn the power to get the drift back. Then we need an additional 4. Got 3 turns to do it, so we're looking positive. It's tempting to use the data here, but then we're not really going to need that much data left over, so it's probably use the crew once. And then we'll get them, yeah, 3 comms and 2 data left over, but we have completed the objective, which is the main objective anyway. Okay, so first command's good, second one's good, and third one is another good successful one. Right then, so we've got 2 turns left to go, with 3 comms and 2 data. Okay, so, and we've still got the drift at 0, which is even better. Okay, so if we could just play it simple and just do 1 and 1, I suppose, but I don't want to gain additional drift if we don't need. I suppose that just, yeah, we lose 1 drift there, and yeah, that would work. I don't want to do that because I want to potentially do some recharge because we've got 2 power left over. So we could do that one, and then we'd need 5. That would work. Okay, and then we could recharge. And then we're still within the, we're still correct with the drift anyway, so that should, we'll go for that and we'll continue. Okay, that one's very successful. And 90 odd, so we've got ideal alignment, so that gains additional comms, but don't need it because we've now completed the objective. Okay, so we've now conducted the mission EVAs. We now just need to perform controlled re-entry to bring the astronauts back to Earth, which is always a very good part of the missions. Right, so we need 6 comms and 6 navigation to complete the mission, but to get the bonus we need 12 comms and 12 navigation. Okay, and we need to control our the heat on the re-entry. Okay, so let's do some power and the crew to gain some base resources, and then we do need to bring the heat down, so let's start using some power and gain some navigation. It's tempted to do that again, so that gives us a good navigation because we've got plenty of place where we can gain a lot of comms. So let's confirm that. Okay, first one's good, second one's just in, which is good enough, and third one, very good, 69%. Good number. Okay, and heat wise we gained just 1, so that's not too bad. Okay, so this time we need to aim for getting, we've already got the navigation, but we do need another 6 more to try and get this bonus. We've got 3 turns to do it in. It's tempted to do a power and comms into 4 navigation to then gain 2 crew into 4 comms. And I would want to get rid of the heat, but I could do potentially keeping the power. So, I mean, worst cases we'll get 3. but then I don't want to be maxed out, so I do want to get rid of it. But then that'll give us all the navigation we need, and then it will leave us 2 turns to gain the rest of the comms, which should be doable. So let's confirm it's just a bit risky. So that one's okay, so we'll accept that. Move on. That's good as well. And we have a fail, but that's good. We've got 1 power left over. So to resist it, it would cost us another. So we'll either use the comms or not. We don't want to use the comms, so let's just resist it for the power that we've got. Brilliant. And heat-wise, we gained just additional 1. Okay, so we could have probably played it a bit safer and not used the heat, but it's 1 to 3, so we could have got anything. So in this one, okay, so we've already got navigation. We've got some spare. We have got spare comms, so we could turn the comms into 2 navigation and a 2. Well, comms into 2 navigation, but I don't think we need that. So we've already got the comms, so it's aimed at getting the navigation. That one's actually tempting, but we could do, yeah, 2 crew into. Could do that actually, and then recharge, and then we'll just come back and get 1 more comms. But if we did that, we could do it again. But then we'll still have to come back and get anyway, so it's interesting. I'm tempted just to recharge, and then I've just got to get free data, which we could do from power. Which we could do that, to be fair. Okay, I'm going to risk it and just go for that approach. Okay, so that one's successful. And successful, so mission completed. Heat-wise, we gained just 1 heat. Not an issue though. We've now got the astronauts safely returned to Earth. Okay, mission successful. Okay, only got a second on that one, but still, very good achievement for the Japanese Space Agency. And we finished 3rd or above in 3 milestone missions, so we've got another challenge to complete, and we've got some more money. Brilliant, because we are short of money, so yep, gained a lot of support there, 1.9, and a lot of 732 research for 5 months. Very good. So our 2 astronauts now, we're going to be recuperating for 6 more months. And again, another successful mission for the Japanese Space Agency. It's a shame that this Chinese beat is to the number 1 of this one, because it would have been nice to see, getting all 1s down on the milestone board, but the second is still good. Going forward, I say we're still researching towards the Apollo. With the extra research there, we should get that finished next month, so we can start planning the crewed moon landing. And we go to the active missions. We are planning to, got 5 months to go for the Earth topology, and we are starting to plan to do the Mars orbit. But I say, as I'm trying to keep these to milestone missions, as that one was again a short one, but again it's a milestone complete for the Japanese Space Agency. So on that note, thank you very much for watching episode 8 on my Japan's Let's Play. If you like the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next episode of Mars Horizon.